Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Mississippi State's offense. Coming into this game, the Bulldogs were dead last in the SEC in rushing. They were 128th in success rate. So what'd they do? They rattled off 240 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground, more than doubling their best output to date this season, and leaving Florida with another head-scratching and disappointing defensive performance. I'm going to break all of this down for you, the good plays and the bad plays, the highlight individual performances, and the low-light individual performances. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, check out our weekly podcast, and drop us a dono, where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content all season long. And lastly, join us for a GNFP tailgate at the UCF game right there on Gator Walk. The link is in the description. Pick up your tickets now. All right, with all that being said, let's get right into the film. It's the first drive, and the third play of that drive is 3rd down and 13. And coming into this game, the Bulldogs were 33rd in passing with regards to success rate. We had said on our podcast we expected one of the prime matchups to be the aerial attack of the Bulldogs versus Florida, and Florida wound up being just fine in that regard. Of course, it was the rushing game that we mentioned earlier that really led to Florida's struggles on this day. But Florida did make quite a tactical adjustment coming into this game. DC Ron Roberts, who is calling the plays, designing the plays, coordinating the defense this year, is not Austin Armstrong or Coach Ham. We've already mentioned that last film review. This defense looks significantly different with regards to how aggressive they play compared to what Armstrong was doing last year, despite the fact that both Coach Ham and Coach Roberts come from the same tree. In fact, Roberts, of course, really taught and mentored Austin Armstrong, but it's very clear that how they approach attacking an offense is, in fact, very different. I much prefer Armstrong, or who we like to call Coach Ham's tactics, to Ron Roberts, as we've discussed. But I'm fine with the tactics here, as we are going to have 3rd and long, and we are going to wind up playing cover 2 man. We're going to wind up coming out here and playing cover 2 man. Everybody get your man, and then 2 high, right? I'm totally down with that, especially against an opponent that is struggling like Mississippi State is, especially against an opponent that's struggling in the first half like the Bulldogs are. I like this. This is sound. It's 3rd and long. Make them beat you into a tight window and eliminate the confusion that you've been causing yourself with creepers and simulated pressures. And again, Florida's not going to run basically any simulated pressures or creepers for a large majority of this entire game. And I think it's going to be to their benefit. Now, those ideas are good ideas. They're sound if you can execute them. But if you can't execute defense and you're blowing coverages and you're missing assignments, it's not actually helping you, it's hurting you. So again, I think Florida's better off in this game with what they did here. And right away, Mississippi State and Chapin is going to look up top. And I think it was kind of interesting in this game to see how often the Bulldogs attacked Jason Marshall. You're going to see this on film. He's been putting great stuff on film all season long. He is Florida's best corner. Now, again, last year, yeah, perhaps attack Marshall. But this year, number 3, he's having a good season. He's going to look here and see, okay, he's on top of that route. I'm not going to get that. He's then going to come back down here and look at Denson. He's going to say, okay, I don't have that either. I'll take my check down that is covered by Shamar, which is also not a good idea because Shamar is Florida's best tackler. There's your tackle. And then here comes Devin Moore. Look, he's pumped up, right? 3 and out, man. I'm not used to this. This is great. This is a flag. It looks like a flag. Maybe not. Okay, let's see. It's not a flag. Hold on. Okay, it's not a flag. I'm still pumped up. We're actually going to get off the field. It's kind of a minor miracle here in Starkville, but 3 and out on the first drive for the Gators. Second drive now, 3rd play. So 3rd and 4. If it's not broke, right, don't fix it. What does this look like? Cover 2 man again. Here we are. Oh, cover 2 man action. Feeling good, right? If it worked once, maybe it will work twice. Let's see how this works out for Florida. This time, Chapin is going to want to attack immediately a hitch route right here. He wants this hitch route. He's going to get a perfectly clean pocket with which to do so. Florida's going to bring 4, and he is going to have this route for a first down. This is going to be fortunate for Florida, as you're going to see Denson back up too far, in my opinion, and leave too much space. Ideally here, you got to guard the sticks. He has help over top, right? He has help over top. He can be much more aggressive on this route which is the most likely route combination, something in here. He needs to clamp down on this sooner. So focus on him as I roll the film here. He's going to get too much separation right here. This is too far. He's breaking down in his route, and he's not going to be able to get here to separate if this is a well-thrown ball. Nice clean pocket here for Chapin. Chapin climbs. This is a very easy throw, right? All he has to do is hit 84 in the face mask, and they're moving the sticks. Denson is not in position to make a play here. He is going to, of course, tackle him right as this ball gets here, but he does have enough space with a good ball to complete this, especially if he puts the ball where it should be, which of course is going to be right in here. He's got his space. He'll get tackled right here. He's got a first down. This throw is wildly off target, as we can see, and that goes for an incomplete pass. And what matters for Florida is it goes for yet another stop. So 2 drives, 2 quick stops, 2 simple sets of defenses, no creepers, no simulated pressures, just good old cover 2 man. 2 for 2. 3rd and 3 now. Here's Bridges, the transfer from Oregon, who's been getting more playing time. We talked about him last week as he got knocked out, of course, for the targeting call, which was the letter of the law. That call is correct regarding how the NCAA rules for that. Again, there's so many rulings nowadays based upon the letter of the law that I think are unfortunate for football, to say the least. But in this case, one thing that Bridges does nicely, although I think he certainly is not as good of a tackler as we'd want him to be, which is one reason why he lost playing time at Oregon, is he was coached correctly. Unlike seemingly a lot of others Florida safeties, for whatever reason you want to assign that to them for, he actually comes downhill and attempts to fill the hole hard. He'll actually hit relatively hard when he does land, and he does come downhill and fill a gap relatively quickly. You'll see that on film again in this game. He is going to make a mistake here and hesitate just a bit, but you are still going to see him when this motion goes off. We pass this off, right? So now we're going to switch to this here. We're going to see Douglas, who is yet again not going to put anything good on film. We're going to have Denson rotate here to the high spot, and now he's going to come in, and he needs to make this tackle, and you're going to see why, depending on how Florida covers this. So we're going to basically send Boone in, and we're going to be here, right? Here's your puller, and now we're going to be in the gap. He needs to get into this C gap. He needs to fill this hole. He's the unblocked man and make this tackle. Now, if you're Boone, you do not want to get run out of here like Boone gets run out of here, right? Now, he is trying to get his head up on a zone blocking scheme that's pushing this way, but he is going to wind up getting blown all the way out of his gap. That's not ideal. That's going to cause a problem. But most importantly here, this is Bridges' play to make, right? Right here, if you're Bridges, this is your gap to fill. You fill this gap, you don't hesitate, because Shamar is your edge defender. Shamar's your D gap, right, or your C gap player here. Now he becomes your B gap player, but he's inside, he's outside. Shamar takes on this block to the outside and makes sure if he wants to bounce it out here, that's his responsibility. If you're Bridges, you fly in here and you make this tackle. He hesitates. You can see right here, he's going to pause and hold up. He doesn't need to pause and hold up, right? He needs to get in there and make that tackle. He's going to lunge for it and miss this tackle, and then that's how 3rd and 3 becomes a first down. But Florida's design on this play, again, is perfectly fine. If Boone can hold up a little stronger at the point of attack, he's not going to get totally washed out of the gap, which you can see Boone right there, cleared all the way out. But this is fine. Design-wise, this is fine. Now, what I'd like to see from Bridges is he's actually up in here. We've seen Florida safeties, no matter who else it may be, whether it's Thornton or Castell or Douglas, they're often here at this point in time, right? And he's there. He's here to make this play and get the stop. He needs to go one more level of commitment here and trust this is his job. This is his gap. He's not responsible for anything out here. Come in here, fill your gap, make a play, right? Play fast, do your job. If he does, he probably has a tackle there. Instead, we're going to get loose. There's Jason Marshall. He's going to wrap up, hold on, and then there comes Douglas in there for a finishing tackle as we wind up making a stop after a good 10 yards on 3rd down and 3. Again, Mississippi State running the ball there and obviously picking up a first down, something that they're not going to go to early enough in this game. At this point in time in the game, they still feel like, hey, we're not a good running team. We stole one there. Let's keep passing. 1st and goal from, I don't know, the 10-inch line maybe, right here. And we've seen this before from Florida. Of course, they're playing man here, which is good. We've got, got 3 guys further off the ball than I'd like them. I don't know what we're protecting over here. I'd like to see these guys kind of get in here, right? A traditional goal line defense. We're not going to do that, which, debatable in my opinion. But more importantly, this is going to wind up being a teach tape here for the Bulldogs because they're going to show you how you blow up a defensive line. I want you to watch the arc of this offensive line, right? Ideally, we're going to neutralize this at best if you're Florida, and you don't want to see this get pushed out to here. That would be bad. If you're doing really well, you're going to push them back to here, right? That's kind of what you're looking for. What you're going to see happen, of course, is going to be this. You're going to see this happen. Watch where Mississippi State's offensive line ends up on this play for yourself right here. Here we go. And look at that. This is the worst rushing team in the SEC. The worst one. What does that make Florida in this situation? I'm not sure. Walk in the end zone untouched. Touchdown, 7-7. 3rd and 17. What does it look like here? Too high. Man, and man. Cover 2 man yet again. 3rd and long, which means Florida's defense has been the recipient of penalties and also good defense on these early downs. They're earning a chance to be in this spot. Now they have to get off the field. Again, no sim pressures up in here. No one's going to creep. We're not going to drop anybody back from these positions. We're going to just play straight up standard defense and make Mississippi State beat us, which they are not going to do. The pass rush doesn't quite get there. Gums does a nice job here driving through. I think on film you'll see Gums do better versus overmatched opponents. He seems to be, in my opinion, undersized or under strength for the role Florida wants to play him at when he plays the big boys in the SEC. But here, a nice drive to collapse the pocket. Really, though, Mississippi State, they're winning here, right? He's got a pocket. He's got time. Florida's coverage is good here. Nothing here. He hasn't even gone anywhere here. We're on top of this route there. Check down's gone. That's the advantage, of course, of playing man when you're playing a team that you don't have a fear of either A, a good O-line protecting, or B, a receiver just beating you. And again, cover 2 man is as sound as it can be in this scenario. You can't blow a zone. You can't make a mistake. You can't give him free yards. So, sound. It's going to work out again here for Florida. Shapen's going to take this tight window pass, which is definitely not there. That's going to wind up being, again, Denson, who they're certainly trying to pick on early in this game, and Denson's there for the challenge. Quality coverage there by Sharif. And Florida gets off the field again. So 1 drive resulting in a touchdown, 3 drives resulting in punts. That's a much better ratio for Florida than what a lot of their games, of course, hold for them. And again, the competition should be noted. This game, really, in my opinion, on film, was more like a Sun Belt game, like a mid-level Sun Belt game than what you consider to be a true SEC game. So these teams are battling accordingly. 3rd and 5 here now for Mississippi State. This is their 5th drive. This is going to be a teach tape here by Jason Marshall, and also a teach tape here if I'm coaching the Bulldogs on what you do not want to do if you're the lead receiver in a stack. You're going to see Florida go with the stack adjustment. Here's the communication right here by Marshall. Hey, stack adjustment to Thornton. Right, Thornton right here, stack adjustment, which means I am going to stay on top of this receiver here, right? This is number 1. Number 2, I'm going to reroute any inside breaking release he has here, any outside breaking release he wants to have. I'm going to straight up shove him this way. That way you have time to get to him and we take away what is a likely combination out of the stack, which is some sort of east-west combination. So Marshall's going to wind up trying to reroute any outbreaking route from the number 1 receiver up top here. And then on the number 2, he's going to actually wind up covering the number 2. So reroute here, that's going to be Thornton's guy. Cover number 2, right? Again, there's many ways to handle the stack adjustment here, but on this one, we're going to see how Marshall's handling it and how this is a teach tape. Right here, this is perfect technique by Marshall. Fantastic stuff on 3rd down and 5. We see the inside release. Inside release, he knows now I want to clear him even further because they're going to try to get a rub route on me. So I want to disrupt the timing and the cleanliness of this rub route, and I want to get him out here so he can't easily snap to the out, right? And you can see right away, Shapen is looking at this action. It's where he wants to go. So Marshall, again, being attacked. Questionable tactics. I'm a Bulldogs fan. I'm not sure why you're going at Florida's best defender, but that's good for Florida. Right there's the hands to reroute right there. Good reroute, and now he's got to stay on top of the in-breaking route, which is the one they want. Of course, from the number 2 receiver right there. He's setting up for the hitch, and then Marshall's going to get there and make a play on that one, right? So Marshall effectively covers two players on this play, and you can see the outbreaking route right there by 84 on the bottom of your screen. He covers 2 players right here, reroute, clamp down on top, and make a play. Now, the reason I mentioned this was a teach tape the other way is, of course, if I'm coaching 84 right here, I need to make sure he understands that his job is not to allow Marshall to do what he's coached to do. He needs to get into Marshall, right? Don't take such an inside release here. Get straight up into Marshall, drive him back, wall him off, so that then you have this throw in a better exchange. Now, obviously, there's ways to counter this if you're Florida's defense, right? Is you can basically have Thornton clamp down on this instead. You don't know that pre-snap, right? But once you see him engage you some, you know you want to take him out of the play, right? Rub him out of the play to give yourself a window here versus the safety, right? So really, really good stuff again all the way around by Marshall here. Sees the inside step, good push, stay on top of the route, passing him off, and then there you go. So really, really good stuff there from Marshall. Excellent play from him on 3rd down and 5. Florida gets off the field yet again. 44 down here. Pyburn's going to put some good stuff on film in this game. He's going to be a little overzealous here. Florida's going to bring a run blitz and correctly get a run. Run blitz up top right here. We're going to fill this gap aggressively, try to crash down on this. And then right here we have Banks, who is jostling and losing a little bit here. Arms are extended, so we're okay. Again, ideally, he would have hit him here and pushed him back some. He's won the line of scrimmage, but he does have good separation. He should be able to shed that block. But Pyburn has gone too far up the field here. Again, you have to work, right? There's 6 gaps. You got C, B, A, B, C. 6 gaps. You got to make sure that you can get into your gap. Pyburn's going to blow himself all the way out of the gap over here and lose control of the edge. Banks does have a chance to make sort of a hero save here. He's not going to do it. But again, there's Pyburn too far up the field. It's 2nd and 9. It's a running play. We go for the run blitz fit tackle right there and miss. There's Banks, who's going to be able to disengage. So again, Banks is slightly moved out of his gap, but he's able to shed the block and make an arm tackle, where if Pyburn had done the same thing here, then they're both there combining for this tackle, and it's 3rd down. Again, you have to work as a unit. Pyburn goes hero mode there, blows himself out of the gap. Now we're off to the races. No big deal. It's still 2nd and 9. Let's have our safety. Again, Florida wants to play a split safety technique. You got to be able to have safeties you can tackle if you're going to play this way. Come downhill, make a tackle. Let's set up 3rd down. This is going to be number 18, Bryce Thornton. We're going to come downhill and whiff. And he's still running, barely slowing him down. And the tackle then is made right here by R.J. Moten. So, big gain there on 2nd and 9, of course, with a running game from the Bulldogs. 1st and 10. All right, Pyburn, I see you on this one. He's going to read this perfectly. He's going to strike the block, shoot off the block, and make a tackle. It's a 1v1 win right here for Pyburn. He's going to read this, read the zone read, right? Read the handoff right here. You can't just come crashing into the puller. We've seen Florida do this the wrong way really so many times. When we rewind this here for a second, you have a puller coming across. We've watched Florida either kind of chill back here. We've watched Florida at times blow up the blocker when they're not supposed to. Again, you can strike this block. We could spill this, right? We could spill this play, strike this here, spill this in here. As long as you're on the same page with how you want to handle this as a team on this particular look, of course, you can do that. But we've often seen Florida not be together on the same page as a unit. But in this case, we're playing react, not attack. React, not attack. Pyburn's reacting, not attacking. He's going to wait to see what happens, and then he's going to attack. So he waits to see what happens. He's going to strike this block now. He sees the handoff, strike this block in here, make sure he gets leverage to come out here and control the edge, and then we're filling here, right? Play as a unit. There's your strike of the block, and now here we go, strike of the block, good strike of the block as well right next to him from, I believe that's Moten right there. So we're getting 2 really good block strikes right here. Very nice, block strike, block strike. Now let's make a play, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Right there, let's wrap up, make a tackle. It's a TFL. That's some havoc for the defense, right? That's a big-time play. Nice work there by Moten and Pyburn striking blocks. Excellent react play there. Read the play, react to the play, then attack. So nice react, attack right there by Pyburn, and a tackle for a loss. After 2 chunk passing plays here, this is the next drive, not the one we had just looked at. We're now in the 1-minute drill, down 28-7. A chance for Florida to kind of end this game in this situation here with just 57 seconds left. We're going to see Cameron James right here, a talented young player for Florida. He's going to get blown entirely out of his gap, and that's going to create problems, followed by then Florida's safeties trying to tackle, which we already know is always a problem. Here we go, inside draw. That's all that is, right? Quick inside draw right here. There's gums missing, and then there's the comedy of Florida trying to tackle on the back end. So again, Cameron James, let's roll this slower here so you can see that not a real speed. There's 24, right here, right here. There he is. Let's see what happens to him. He's going to get blown out of the gap right here. He's gone. Look at him. He's gone. He's disappeared. He's completely out of there now. So they've created the hole they've wanted to create, right? They've also been able to pin. They've also been able to pin right here Shamar James. So they've buried him. They've buried him here. And Gums is not going to be quick enough to slide over here and scrape into the hole. So we have a problem. But again, the benefit of playing two high safeties is they are also keeping their eyes at all times in the backfield and theoretically coming downhill quickly to make a tackle. So this is a 5-yard gain and not what it becomes. But here comes Castell, and then there's Thornton. At least Thornton's kind of trying to get a closer angle. Castell's coming way over here. We're chilling, and now we've got to make a tackle. And again, if you're Castell, you should be reading that Thornton's got an angle here. If he tries to go straight through, you're going to be able to collapse that instead. Castell's kind of already recovering. I think in reality, Castell does not like tackling. He avoids tackling. He seeks reasons to not tackle someone. And then you tell me what he's doing right here. He's going to step in a recovery step already. We don't need to recover. We've got that angle closed. And now we're going to turn around. We're going to get absolutely cooked. There's Thornton trying to just touch him. He can't. I'm going to touch you. Wait, what if I touch you? Will you fall down? Nope. Okay. You're still going. There's Castell still watching. Then in comes a ridiculous arm attempt here from Sharif Denson. Let's take a look at this tackle attempt here. Tell me what you see on this one. Just flail an arm. Maybe I'll chop him down this way. Hey, that worked, right? Chop him down. There we go. All the meanwhile, Castell's like, hey, great, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much for attempting to tackle for me because Lord knows I don't want to tackle. Thank you for saving me from that. I'm a safety in a split safety system who should be coming downhill and tackling. I don't want to do it. But you know what? We're still safe because they haven't gotten in the end zone yet. Florida just putting garbage on film with their safeties each and every game. Florida, for the most part, played its best defense as the game went on inside the 5-yard line. They had some issues, but they largely had some of their best plays here. Here again is Mississippi State challenging Jason Marshall. I don't understand the wisdom of this, but they just kept doing it. They're going to go one-on-one here for a read slant on him, and he is going to be all over this play right here. Good quick release. Receiver gets a quick inside release on him. It does not create any separation, as you can see here. And now Marshall's going to engage this route to stay on top, right? Look at his body leverage. He's on top. Receiver's underneath. If he drives to the inside, Marshall should also be here to be able to make a play. The receiver's trying to out-leverage him, but there's Marshall right there on his back. I mean, this is perfect. Again, teach tape right here by Marshall, right? There's no real good window here. We've got a linebacker in position. We've got some pressure coming up here from our D tackle. Tight window, nothing here. We've erased whatever they've wanted. Our best defenders going up against their receiver. This is what you want to have happen on 2nd and goal. It's all happening here for Florida's defense. This is what good defense looks like. And then you wind up getting the stop, right? Let's get rid of that stuff on the screen. There you go. And you wind up getting the stop. Ball is actually pretty well thrown here by Shapen. It's one of his better balls in the day, but there's really not a lot you can do about that because Marshall's all over that and there's just no separation. That's a great one-on-one win there for 3. Lock him up, put him down. Right there. Can't get the finish of the celebration because it gets cut off. But good work by 3. Again, they tested him in this game pretty heavily. It was part of their game plan, and he answered the call. All right, 3rd and goal. Let's probably not test Marshall again. In fact, this time, let's just bring a little motion across and see if we can't confuse, perhaps, Florida's safety and then the nickel, Sharif Denson. I'm not sure which one's going to be confused here, but let's see if we can't just kind of steal a touchdown. There's your motion. And let's see if Florida will blow this and get 2 guys covering 1 guy. That's exactly what you're going to see. There's the motion man, and we now successfully have 2 guys covering 1 guy. Where if either Denson stops here and becomes the edge defender, or we have Thornton go in there and become the edge defender, either one of them I can assure you is supposed to be doing that. I can guarantee you that. They are both bracketing the motion man, which now leaves this zone read for what you want to have here if you're the Bulldogs, which is no defender in that gap. He kind of stumbles himself here, dives, gets in the end zone, touchdown Bulldogs. So 28-14. So the game is certainly now not out of reach, especially given that Mississippi State has been coming back in every single game this season. But a touchdown there on 3rd down and goal. And again, a blown assignment there for the Gators. Halftime adjustment here from the Bulldogs. They come out saying, hey, Florida's been playing a lot of too high man when we've spread them out. Here it is again. Well, let's just spread them out and see what they're going to do. And if they come up with a 5-man box here, that's 5 and we have 7, right? That's a big advantage. In fact, in this case, we feel pretty good about this matchup. Let's see what happens. We haven't been running the ball as much because we're not a good running team, but we kind of feel like our offensive line is held up versus Florida's defensive line. Let's see if we can't generate something this way. And they are going to generate something right here with Shapen. Just the design QB run. You can see right there. It's 6 blockers versus 5. There should be a gap for Shapen to run through. Well-designed play. This is, again, overusing this word today, but teach tape here on how to run the design QB run, right? Everyone's accounted for. There's going to be a nice gain on first down. Easy run for the quarterback here. And then there goes Chapin, who took a lot of big hits in this game, would eventually get knocked out for the season, unfortunately for him, with a shoulder injury, but does pick up a smooth 8 yards right there. Although Florida did get run on in this game, they also had a decent amount of tackles for loss, especially for them. Again, Florida does not generate that many TFLs. I've been watching the channel all year long. It's not that often. Banks, though, going to get a good one-on-one win. And look, Florida's defensive tackles, especially their starting DTs, have put good stuff on film. You don't notice it often because the entire line itself is not very good. I think Florida, again, is lacking at the defensive end position as well as the jack position, having a hard time getting rushed from any particular end. But the D tackles themselves often are winning one-on-one battles. They're holding up versus a double team. And when you get a 7-man box here, Banks is going to get to go one-on-one on this play. He's going to go one-on-one by design of this play. He's going to obliterate this and get a TFL right here. So Banks is not always getting to go one-on-one. He gets a shot at one here, and then here he goes, bottom of your screen. He's going to just absolutely, look at this, instant, right, toss aside, quick first step to the inside, bye-bye lineman. Oh, this is great, one-on-one, and then get in the backfield and make this tackle. And it's a sensational one-on-one effort. Again, I think Florida's unfortunately wasting some of their D-tackle talent. They haven't been perhaps as disruptive as you want them to be, but in my opinion, that's often because, D tackles can only do so much when teams know their edge players really are just not getting the job done, whether it be holding the edge or just in general, they can't speed rush very well. They're not power rushers either, kind of just stuck in between. The D tackles can be game planned for, but a one-on-one opportunity here, and Banks makes the most of it with a big stop there on first down. 3rd and 10 now. Mississippi State starting to figure out, hey, it's 3rd and 10. Maybe running is still the way to go. Still what we want to do. Here's Banks, again, going to do a really good job. Watch how he holds his gap. And then here's Brown, not a starting DT, not a guy who gets a ton of snaps. He's going to get absolutely pancaked out of his gap. Now on 3rd down and 10, that's a problem, but Florida should still be able to make a tackle even with him getting pancaked out of his gap before they get a first down. Now, of course, you can already guess that's not going to happen, but watch right there, pancaked. You can see his helmet. He's going in the wrong way. He can see the running back, and he's like, oh, no, please. No, don't do me like this. Nope, 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 don't, nope. Yep, You're there. You're pancaked. Although the Bulldogs probably don't want to watch the one from this game. They want to watch that one, and they want to give their center a piece of kudos for that, as that's a nice pancake right there, and he's going to be the key to this play. Now we've got it sealed up here. We've got it sealed up here, and here comes Bridges, who is incorrectly bit on the fake here from the quarterback. He's not going to be able to get there in time, which is going to then create a bigger hole and gap. So nice blocking by the Bulldogs. Again, the worst rushing team in the SEC. I want you to keep that in mind. Now here's Banks almost making a hero play, like we talked about. You have to look deeply for this stuff, but he wins. He gets through, and he's here. If anyone else is able to shed their block, even at all, it's going to be a stop. Banks wins, no one else does. And now you're going to get Moten right here trying to make a stop. Right? Moten right here trying to make a stop. But then again, you know what? No big deal, because look, it's 3rd and 10. We have a safety who's been reading the play the entire time. It's DJ Douglas, the Tulane transfer. He's been reading the play the entire time. Let's watch Douglas's footsteps. The ball is in the running back's hands right here. He does not recognize it yet. Now he recognizes it. Okay, it's 3rd down and 10. You need to get in here and make a play, right? Come downhill, make a play. Here we come, coming downhill now. Okay, I'm gonna stop and wait. Where am I going here? Look, I've got some help, right? I've got some help. I've got a hand there from Moten. And like I've seen last week, nope. I'm on the ground. I'm reaching out for hope on the wrong end of the field. That's happened too much for Douglas. He's been going this way, looking this way. That is not a recipe for success as a safety, yet it happens again. It's a first down. Then there's Pup Howard. Now it becomes a chunk play. And then there it comes. Look at this. Hey, you know what? I'm back. I'm coming in for more. I'm going to lower my shoulder. I'm going to blast basically my own guy. I'm not even going to hit the running back. I'm almost going to blast Pup Howard here. Bam. Get down. Get down. Talk some trash. Yeah, I got you. First down, Mississippi State. Again, not a good look on defense for Florida there either. 1st and 10, really nice read on this play from Denson. He's going to read the screen here, get through the block and make a tackle, a good one-on-one win. For 0 right here, read it, right away see it. And again, this is true of bad football teams, right? Bad football teams don't block well. Bottom line, they don't block well. You have to win this one-on-one. You can't lose it so cleanly. If he does win this one-on-one, you can see why this play on paper is probably good. Florida's sitting way high. You get a block here. It's first down and 10. It's like a cheap handoff. You might pick up, 4 or 5 yards here. Not going to happen when you make no block at all, and then Sharif Denton comes in and makes a really nice finish on that tackle. That's a great play on first down and 10. Good read by him. Way to commit right here. Ready? Read it. Trust your read, commit, blow by the blocker, finish the play. Bingo. Excellent stuff there from 0. Second and 10, it's the third quarter. Been running a lot of what you would consider to be vanilla defense. It's probably time to throw a creeper in there. And look, this one's going to work. Not necessarily because of surprise, but because Denson is going to beat his one-on-one matchup yet again. But we're going to creep this out. We're going to go here. So we're going to send just 4. We're not sending a blitz here, just 4. But Denson's going to win. There's Gums dropping in, just 4. Now we're going to ID. He's going to ID this inside breaking route. He's looking at the running back. If he stays in, he can pile on if he wants to, right? Second and 11, here we go. He's going to drop back in zone. Picking up zone, 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 and then Denson. So one-on-one Denson here. Here he is, speed rush. We've talked about Florida struggling with speed rush pretty much anywhere. And again, you can see this to be true on tape pretty much each play. But Denson's going to speed rush right by their tight end. And then boom, strip. And then almost a recovery. He's right there for it. Can't quite get it. But Denson on back-to-back plays, winning 1v1 and getting stops. Again, football is an 11-man game. In order to win 1v1, you have to hold up everywhere else. You have to have good enough coverage in the back end that his first read's not open. You have to execute the play correctly. You have to make sure that your other line mates are doing their job and creating space for you so you can go one-on-one and then finish the play. So nice work again there by 0. 2 positive plays for him. We saw a 4th and 1 last week where Ron Roberts elected to play very safe. It's 28-14 in the third quarter. This game is very much hanging in the balance. If you get a stop here, you're very much taking control of the game. Well, does it look like Florida is copying the playbook from the play that we featured last week? You tell me. Let's count the number of guys in the box. 6. 2 high safeties. Again, the end zone's only 8 yards behind them. 2 high safeties. And let's count how many are here for Mississippi State. That's going to be 8. 8 in the box versus 6 on 4th down and 3. Not good math. Once again, if you're in the booth here for the Bulldogs, you're thinking, oh, this is great. You're already high-fiving pre-snap. Hey, as long as our guys execute even at 80% here, we're going to pick up this first down. We have a huge numerical advantage, and we've already been successful running the ball against Florida with a heads up, right? Non-advantage. So this is an advantage. We're liking this. 4th down and 3, critical part of the game. Thank you very much. Let's keep this simple. Don't make us pass. And right here again, you can see, right, D tackles are largely holding up. Now we're getting a little bit thrown out of the line here. I want to focus right here, right here. Let's watch that. You got Big Dez to the left there. We're going to get pushed out of our gap a little bit. Notice how Dez has won his gap, right? If he comes into Dez's area, he's done. We've gotten pushed out of the gap enough here that he's going to have a crease to get into, which then we're going to try to fill right here. And now here comes, right, our 6th and final defender. Now look, if Florida has one more guy in the box and it's 7 versus 8, this play is almost certainly stopped. The D-line did a good enough job here creating a slow crease in here, right? Wasn't perfect. We get pushed out here, this gap. We got pushed out, like I mentioned, here. We didn't want to be right here. We want to be right here holding up. We didn't quite hold up, but not a lot of daylight here. Now we need to take momentum and push it this way and we get a stop. But we're a man short, and then here comes Shamar. He's not quite sure where the running back is. You can see what happens here. If he's sure this is the ball carrier in here, he's able to immediately pile on. He's not sure. He can't tell. He kind of waits to find him. By the time he does find the ball carrier is underneath that pile driving. Now you can see him, right? You couldn't even see him for a while. He's running right behind this offensive guard. And then he's going to wind up taking this for the first down. But this is the result of a light box. Again, Florida's D tackles, could we have held up a little bit better there at the point of attack? Yes, we could have, right? We could have been a little bit better there. 33 could have been a little better at the start. If he holds his gap as well as Dez did, we probably still make a stop. But you're playing 6 versus 8. The expectation there is that Mississippi State is going to get this first down more often than not. And what are you protecting against, right? Again, if you're Ron Roberts and you're on the football field, you're up 28-14, your offense is literally humming, what exactly are you so afraid of that you were unwilling to bring another person in the box here? I don't know. Especially when you have Jason Marshall, who's been gloving people up, right? You can let him go one-on-one in this scenario, and you can still roll safety help on the other side if you want. You can also just high-low this and make them pass. Hey, take a chance, right? Let me bring a guy in here, and you can try to beat me here, or you can try to beat me here with a safety if you want to help out. But make them beat you. Instead, you're inviting the easiest option, the highest expected value play, the highest EV play is this one. And by alignment, you basically say you can have it. 2 weeks in a row, right there on film. 2nd and 6, we got man-to-man here at the bottom of your screen. This is going to be Shapen's best throw of the day and a fantastic catch here by the number 1 receiver on this side. Moore's going to make just a small, I don't want to call it a mistake. Let's just call it, he's going to put himself at a small disadvantage when he didn't have to. And that's going to lead to just enough space for him to make this play right here. Let's roll the film. Now, I love crossbody jamming. You don't have to jam early on. You can shadow, basically. So Richard Sherman, an excellent man-to-man corner. He was in favor of soft stepping and shadowing. I'm in favor of a little more physical play myself with a crossbody jam. One reason why is if we imagine that Devin Moore is holding his ground here, initiates again with a crossbody jam. So we're going to go right hand right here into the chest plate of the receiver. That's going to do 2 things for us. If he wants to keep running across the field, then we can run right with him. If he wants to try to come back around us, we have leverage pushing his body away from the way that he wants to go, which means when we both turn, we stay on top of the route. That's not going to happen. We're going to play hands-free here with Moore, and this good hard head fake right there, is going to give enough explosion to the receiver that Shapen, who is looking here one-on-one, wants to throw this ball. He doesn't see a great picture here, right? This is not a great picture as a quarterback, but what you do like is that the defender's back is turned and the gold standard is broken, right? We do not have topside leverage anymore. We don't have it anymore. We are now underneath the play, which for a quarterback is very comfortable. The odds you get an interception here are almost 0. It's 2nd down and 6. You feel good. You're likely to throw a better ball because of this. And again, if you're Devin Moore, you could have fixed that with slightly better technique. Even still, he's right. I mean, he's right in here, right? He's got the sideline as his help defender. He's getting pushed off of right there. He's locked right in. It's a tiny window. He's going to get his hand in there and get contact on the ball, push to the ground. He's got to get 2 feet in, which he does right there. Sensational catch. This is excellent coverage by Moore, but if you're Moore and you're thinking, hey, how do I prevent that from happening next time? Again, I think you get that crossbody jam there on early. That's going to allow you to stay on top of the route better, and that will prevent you from having to be in a trail position in this situation. Either way, great catch there by the Bulldogs. They're going to celebrate as every single team does, pumped up and Gator chomping. Look, at this point in time, I think it's great that teams want to still Gator chomp, and that still means something to them because we're terrible. In the past 3 years, we're one of the worst teams in the SEC. Billy Napier has the worst record of any Florida coach ever. He's going to be the worst Florida coach in modern history. And people still want to Gator chomp us. So, at some point in time, that's great. We're the worst defense Florida's had in 3 cumulative years in a row. We're the worst in probably the entire history of the school. And we're still excited in Gator chomping. And so to me, you're still kind of relevant despite being a dumpster fire. So, hey, I'll take that, Good for that. I'm glad that still matters. I'm glad you're not just walking back to the huddle like, yeah, we're scoring on Florida. They don't even play defense. Like, who cares? I'm not going to celebrate. So this is kind of a small win in some regard. All right, 3rd and 8. 35-21 now, so it's still a tight game. Florida's recognizing, of course, that Mississippi State's running all over them. So even though it's 3rd and 8, notice what's happening here. 3-on-3 here, 1-on-1 here. Single high up there with Douglas. We're going to put 6 in the box. So instead, it's 7 versus 6, as we certainly don't feel comfortable at 7 versus 5 anymore because that is not working. 7 versus 5 is not working. Let's put 6 here and play single high. I don't like doing that if I'm Ron Roberts. I'm uncomfortable. I want to always have 2 high. If I'm Austin Armstrong, I'm very comfortable, and I'm probably bringing him in here too and playing some 0 maybe, right? But Ron's going to say, no, let's keep that safe. And, thank God it's DJ Douglas here. And I don't want to pick on DJ too much. Again, I'm a little bit too tongue-in-cheek with him. I think what's important in the film review is really, ideally, we're trying to show what you should do. And again, if I'm coaching DJ, would I make some points like this to kind of point out, hey, look, I need you to tackle. I don't want you to be chasing for back here. Of course I would, right? I don't know DJ, so it's not going to come off as all in good humor. But on a serious note for DJ, he's got to clean up his tackling, right? He needs to take it more seriously. He's a guy who's played a long time about what he's putting on film with regards to his tackling this season, what's happening right now for his own benefit, for his own future. If he wants to keep playing football, he can't be putting stuff on film that he's putting on film. That's the reality of the nature here, and you're going to see it yet again. So we're going to have right down here, Cersei, number 19. Here's Cersei, right? He's going to hold the edge. And then we're going to have Kelby Collins right here, who's going to get blown all the way out of the play. I mean, he's gone, right? So Cersei gets a check. Again, Florida's defensive line oftentimes, there's one guy doing something wrong. So right here, check mark for Cersei. He's engaging the block check. He's got the C gap covered here and here. He can go two ways. He can block shed. We've got Big Dez yet again, one-on-one. Big Dez is winning, right? He's pushing the defensive lineman in the backfield. He's controlling his gaps. We have Gums right here waiting. So win, 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 and a big fat L right here, right? Now, this is where the double team is, where they run this play. They want to push him out of the gap and then get here. So he does have the hardest job here, but if you're Collins, you got to hold up better than this. He's literally chucked entirely out of the play, right? So watch what happens here. We get washed out. You never want to see this. You never want to see two Florida helmets right next to each other like this. That is not going to fly. We've lost gap control. Now they have what they want here, which is the nice crease to get through, even though the rest of the line had actually controlled their gap relatively well. You're going to see Big Dez now kind of get pushed too far over here at the end. But either way, this is the point of attack, and we've lost right there. So now on 3rd and 8, another promising chance here. There is Cersei reaching. We've seen this before, right? He's close. If anyone else had a win in the B gap or the A gap right here, we're making a tackle. But we have two big fat losses here and a win here, and that's going to equal a big fat loss here. And right up the gut, here we go. But again, no worries, right? Because we've got a chance to make a play. We're going to block shed right here with Pup Howard, who's been putting good stuff on film. We're going to block shed here. We're going to get stopped, 3rd and 8, no worries. Here comes Sapp to pile on, right? We've got this play. It's a little frustrating, a little ugly, but we've got this stopped, no problem. And now we're going to spin out of that. We're going to lose it right there with Pup. We're going to lose it with Sapp on the overrun. But again, no problem, because our unblocked safety, who's here to clean this up and make this 4th down on their own side of the field, is going to come in and finish this. He's going to finish this, right? He's going to... No, he's not. He's going to, in fact, just thwack his own player right there. Just drill his own guy on the ground. Bam. Come flying in. What is happening here, DJ? Like, walk me through your process, right? You've got Sapp already on the guy. He's already... You can't miss this tackle. You basically have a stationary target. But this is what you call tackling with hope, right? He's just hoping he's going to be there. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to throw my body at him and hope he's there. I'm not going to square him up. I'm not going to break down, so I'm square shoulder to shoulder. I'm just going to pick a drive-by lane and reach out there and grab my Frosty. And if I don't have it, I'll drive back again and come back and get it later. Whiff. Look at that. I mean, that is outrageous. The result of that picture, the before and after picture, results in that, right? Before, after. That's insane. That's just outrageous. It's terrible defense. It's inexcusable. And again, if you're coaching 12 here, you got to say, look, you can't get on the football field again until you clean this stuff up. And when I put you on the field, the first time you do it, you're coming right back off the field again, because you have to hold yourself to a higher standard, because you cannot allow this stuff to happen. You need to clean this stuff up, hence being the point of a safety. You can't be flying around and flailing in there and missing a crucial tackle when nobody is actually blocking you. At least in the case of Kelby Collins on this play, he's being blocked. He's being double teamed at the point of attack. If you're Douglas, you have nobody blocking you. And yet, there we go. 3rd and 8. Now we're off to the races. And then Kelby Collins is going to actually make this tackle here at the end for an explosive play. To be a good defense, you have to do the basic stuff well. The Bulldogs figuring out at this point in time in the game, just run the ball. Any old play will do. if you're Denson, you've passed this off, right? There goes your motion man. Okay, you pass this off, you communicate it. Everyone communicates in the back end. Cool. Now you're going to become the edge defender. You're in the box. You are in run fit. If this ball is handed off, you are going to have to make sure that you set the edge. What does setting the edge mean? It means that nobody gets outside of you. If somebody gets outside of you, you are tackling them because you do not have help, right? He's over here. You tackle anyone outside. You set the edge, keep everything in here. This is where you want the play to be made if you do your job. And so what happens here to Sharif? He's like, hey man, earlier I got to the quarterback. I'm going to get back in here and make a play again. I'm going to beat this guy, juke, come inside. Well, this guy's like, hey man, you can beat me inside all day long because look at the play we've got on. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'm glad you chose to go in there and void your job because remember, you're the edge defender, Sharif. You're the edge defender. And without an edge defender, we're off to the races and we have yet another explosive run. As easy as it can be, untouched out of bounds after 13 yards. 4th down and 3. It's clear if you are playing Mississippi State this year and you're playing Jeff Lebby that this is a look he really likes because he's going to run the same exact play we saw earlier when Jason Marshall put the teach tape on. No different here. Same exact look before. We're going to have an inside release here. It's going to come here, and then we're going to go for these in-breaking routes. Same thing at the top of your screen where the ball is actually going to go. So let's look at the top of your screen as I roll the film here. 4th down and 3. Again, Florida now playing this much more aggressively, by the way. This is better. Florida going to make sure that we have, right, 4, 5, 6, 7 in here to match up. 7 on 7. So we're matching up evenly here. We don't want them to run the ball. We want to make them beat us with the pass. I think this is a much better idea. Perhaps Austin Armstrong was calling the defense on this play because it looks like that because Florida is in cover 0, something I haven't seen Ron do at all this whole season, but they're doing it here. And they are going to get the same look, except you're going to see Devin Moore play this much better than Sharif Denson does. So here's Moore at the bottom of your screen. He's going to be just like Marshall, a little quick reroute, not as strong as Marshall, and get right on top, right? Very nice. Top of our screen here. I'm going to rewind it some so you can see it. Sharif, no real contact. 0 physicality here. Not going to reroute that number 1 receiver. And then he's slightly trailing because the reroute helps him, right? If he pushes off into this inside breaking window, he's pushing here, but he's also giving himself leverage. He's not reacting to the rub. He's attacking the rub. Instead, he's slightly trailing here, but we've got a good, this is nice work here in the window. Very nice work right here, right? Get your hands up. That's Bridges. Get your hands up, make a play. That's very, very nice by him. He's in this window, coming downhill. Stop, hands up. Nice play by Bridges. Again, he's showing up on film each week, doing things I like, understanding how to play the right way. And then for your Denson, you're in a slight trail here. There's not a lot of space, though. And you're going to get called for a trash call, right? Like, he gets both hands out here. Denson basically contacts him for like a nanosecond before that. And he's got both hands out. He just doesn't quite corral this ball in. Denson makes a play with his left hand right there, trying to smack it. He goes to the ground. The receiver does not for a second think this is PI. You can tell by how he reacts. He's not getting up thinking it's PI. In fact, he's going to basically talk to the quarterback right here and kind of say, hey, you got to throw this ball up to me. He sees the flags. But in essence, like right here's Denson thinking I got the lock on right there. I got you locked up. But he does not, because he gets what I think is a pretty soft call here. I think in all reality, although I'm kind of talking about what's perfect for Denson to cover on here, I think he gets called for a bogus call here. They called a lot of ticky-tack fouls in this game. And there's a slight touch there. He does not hold him. He doesn't impede him. Both hands get right to the ball without any real issue. Soft call there on 4th down, which goes for an automatic first down. Something Florida has a knack for doing is giving teams automatic first downs in big situations. I don't think this one goes on Denson. Not his fault. Here comes our last 3 plays of this film review, and these are the plays of the game in my opinion. It's 35-21. We're going to enter the 4th quarter. Momentum is heavily shifting here to Mississippi State, significantly so. And look, Florida's unable to stop the run, and now here we are again on the 10-inch line. Feels like they're just going to perhaps blow us off the ball and walk in. Although we do see a difference now. Again, we do see a difference here. Florida's defense is stepped up. We're a lot closer to the LOS here. Look at this here. We're actually playing 3-on-3, and we're locked in. So we're trying to stop the run more aggressively here. We are amping this up. And on 2nd and goal, we're going to see a really nice individual win here by Pyburn right here. Take a look at Pyburn. Individual win from him. One-on-one win. He's going to beat with his quickness here. He's going to beat the tight end, trying to get a pin block on him. He does not even touch him. And now we're here. And then there's, again, Bridges, who we continue to see play downhill football. Look, it stands out so much on Florida's team because we don't see a lot of their other defenders doing it. But Pyburn, a high motor guy, wins with his quickness. The unblocked safety here, Bridges, is playing with conviction and commitment and run fit. He wants to be a part of it, and they are both going to be there for a hard sandwich hit and an emphatic physical stop. And of course, in Florida fashion, because they kind of both counter each other, he still actually gains like a few inches here. But everything about that was really, really good from Florida's standpoint here on this play. Let's watch it actually in real time here. Bridges, near part of your screen, Pyburn up top. Here's the real play. Blast off, bam, gets in there, and then gets a stop on 2nd and goal, bringing up 3rd and goal as we switch sides for the 4th quarter. Pyburn again right here. Watch him strike this block. Check this out here from Pyburn. A 2-play combo from him. The motion man with the tight end again. Florida, yet again, playing far more aggressive here. Setting up here and man, loading the box. Now they're going to try to remotion. They saw it work before. Let's remotion and see if Florida will communicate this correctly or if they'll blow it. There's your remotion. Here's your communication right here. Going to communicate this. There's Devin Moore, right? Now let's see where Devin Moore settles. This still, right? This still largely works. So why do you want to motion a lot on the goal line? Well, because previous to this, I want you to watch Devin Moore. Previous to this, you do have Bridges in the box. He's a good run-fit defender. He's in the box. By motioning the way that they have, you are now going to pull Bridges out of the box, and Moore is never going to be a part to make a play. If you run an inside zone right here, or any kind of inside run, inside power, whatever you want, he's out of the play. He's not ready to come downhill. So this has worked, right? This simple motion has basically worked to remove a player from essentially the box, and also it's taken Bridges out of the box. So you've given yourself a +1 if you want it. So it's a good design on that regard. It's very simple to get what you want here, except Pyburn has other ideas. So here comes your H-back across to strike Pyburn. Pyburn has other ideas like we talked about, and he is going to come strike this block significantly. We don't go for the fake here, which is crucial. Check mark here. Bridges comes out here. We handled that communication very well in passing that off, so they couldn't just have a walk-in jet sweep touchdown or a zone read, right? So good stuff there from Florida. And now we have Pyburn with a key strike on this block. It's going to blow this guy up. And look at that. Blows him up basically into the running back, then latches on to make a tackle. And then we get a win from Sapp in the A-gap. So what's crazy about these kind of plays in the goal line is you have to have multiple one-on-one wins, right? Multiple. Pyburn wins here. We stay home here, and then Sapp gets a win here. Because if Sapp does not get the win here, he probably still scores, even with Pyburn coming in late, right? And even with the edge right here, he's probably still going to score that play. But Sapp is right there to stop his momentum, and then you can take your edge defenders here who can hang on, and we can drive this back. And that's why football is such a great game. It takes 11 players working as one to truly make really good plays. A tackle for loss or a no-stop play in this situation. No game play, rather, and that's what happens here on 3rd and goal. So really, really good stuff. 2 plays in a row from Florida's defense on the goal line. Can they get the stop on 4th down? So if you're Mississippi State here on 4th down, you ran 2 plays you thought were going to lead to touchdowns. They have not. Florida stayed with your double motion last time. And now I think you simply get too cute, right? I think in reality, if Mississippi State could do it again, they would have just run the ball inside 3 times in a row and just lived with it. If Florida stops it, good for you. Spread it out, go 3 times in a row, see what happens, given the way Florida have been playing. But they're going to outthink themselves here. And this play schematically, of course, can work. It can work, and I can see why you get lulled into it right here, is you're saying, okay, Florida's been playing man every single play on the goal line. They're playing straight man, right? Here we are here. We don't necessarily trust our quarterback with what you consider to be some kind of more traditional, if teams are just playing man rub routes on the goal line. We haven't loved, perhaps, his accuracy in these situations. We think he's a good runner, though. So let's go with the speed option, right? Let's go with the speed option because we know they're in man. We can probably get ourselves a pretty good look. We can get it to be our running back, essentially one-on-one in some space versus a safety. And if we can get that matchup, we're probably going to be in good shape. We're going to motion our tight end here. Here's Bridges. Now, again, what's funny about this is if they could do it again, I think they would rather set this up in the reverse. I think they don't want Bridges to be the guy that's going to be the guy in the option stop. Although he struggles to tackle at times, he is going to aggressively probably do the right thing, Whereas if you get a different Florida safety, all bets are off. So with that being said, though, the play itself, you can see why you think this is a good design. Is you now know you have two-man defenders who are not going to look. They're not going to be a part of this play. So essentially, you are going to try to get a quick pin block here and then come one-on-one with the free edge defender and then a safety, right? That's it. Either one of these guys are going one-on-one. So he can take him on one-on-one if he likes the angle. He can make a pitch here, and he can go one-on-one with the blocks right here. And we're in good shape. We only have to get a yard. You can run this play really, really well. There it is. So we kind of miss right here. This is good quality leverage if you are going to be the edge defender right here. Really, really important that you're going to see Pup plays this perfectly. This is a win by Pup, right? He does not get sucked in. He does his job. He knows he's the edge defender. He can't worry about what's happening on the interior. That's not his job. Edge defender, don't step inside right here. Don't step inside and get yourself knocked out of the play by a lineman. Instead, push off, send him in here, come out here, and make sure that you are doing your job as the edge control defender. And then if you're Bridges, you're doing the same thing. You're the D-gap, so to speak. Make sure you're getting over top. And now we're in good shape, right? Now we're in good shape because we have two unblocked defenders. We're going one-on-one. The play by design is allowing that. If you're Mississippi State, you're allowing that. What you don't want here, as you can see, is it to be 3-on-2. You're allowing the one-on-one. You want the one-on-one. You're okay with that. But also, teams are often their own worst enemies, as we've seen before, and they'll just pin themselves, and you'll get a 2-on-1. So again, if you're the Bulldogs, you're hoping for that, but you still get your one-on-one play. You still get your one-on-one play. And obviously, if you're an option quarterback and you're watching this, you know that Shapen does not do a great job on this play. Of course, he has not run option at all this game, but he really needs to he needs to basically run right at Pup. Run right at him and then make this pitch here. So his running back can catch the pitch on the 2-yard line or so right here and then have to either just out-leverage him into this spot or just take him on head-on. But if you stop right now and make this pitch, your pitch is now going to come back here. You're losing 2 yards of leverage. You're giving time for Bridges to get in the window, and you're going to give time for him to beat a block, right? So this is not going to be well run. This is really, again, worst nightmare scenario here on the pitch, not where you want it to be. He's now going to catch this pitch on the 5-yard line. His momentum is now pushing him this way instead of downhill, and you can see now Bridges, and then we're here. We've lost the one-on-one element we wanted. Credit to Florida's defense, and credit, of course, to Pup for playing this really, really well. But Shapen does not do this the right way from his angle, and then we're not going to catch this ball. Where, again, even if we do, look, if we catch this football here, even with this not being right, if we catch this football, the odds are at least 50% that he pushes right in here and scores. I think it's at least a coin flip, if not higher, in this situation, but it's going to be close. And that's why this play call, of course, on paper, I think was enticing for the Bulldogs. But if you're not running it very often, it's really hard to count, I think, on your players to make this happen if it's not something they're doing all the time. Of course, I don't know what they're doing in practice, but that felt like a tough call at the time. But again, on paper, it makes a lot of sense. You can see why you like that. It doesn't work out. 4th and goal, stop for the Gators. And that's really the ball game. Ball game for Florida there. Big time stop. Nice play. Let's take a look at this end zone camera angle just one last time. It's not a play we get to see often on the film review, which is why I'm spending a lot of time on it. Option plays are tons of fun. They're hard to stop, especially if you run them correctly. And here right away, again, is Pup. So he could have easily ended himself on this play by taking any step on the inside. It's over. He doesn't. Hands on here, reroute, step into here, be the edge defender. Bridges knows his responsibility. Let's get out here. Now he takes an instep here. So look, Pup, perfect. Bridges, nah, it's not perfect. But now we got to recover, right? So Bridges not perfect. Pup is perfect. Pup is going to be the one. Outside shoulder. Des now helping. That's a no-go pitch there. Bridges should be about 1.5 yards further over here, and that would have been 100% grade for the defense. But again, Pup makes this play, and if you're Shapen, you're watching this film, you've got to get right into him and then pitch the ball, right? Not going to be there. A better pitch, again, right here, pause it. This is going to be a close battle, right? That's going to be close. It's going to be close. Not going to be close, though, if you drop the ball, and if you are the worst team in this Sun Belt battle here, and you're facing relegation like Mississippi State, you'll drop it, and Florida will wind up proceeding to be a winner despite giving up a ton of yards on the day on defense. They did have far better plays than against A&M. They had more quality plays, but I think that's largely because of the opponent and also because they did simplify their defense. Fewer creepers, fewer sim pressures. They made less mistakes that way. But again, a lot of that was because they weren't necessarily as afraid of the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs still wound up gashing them. significantly so. So I think what that means for the future is we should not expect anything really of quality from this Florida defense. It's only going to get much harder from here with the #1 rushing offense coming in to the Swamp on October 5th. And UCF poses, I think, a major challenge for this defense where they've been really unable to stop anybody outside of an FCS school in Sanford. All right, with that, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. As always, send me any feedback or comments you have. I'm trying to feel out kind of where Florida's season is and what to do. There was a lot of plays in this game. A lot of them are pretty interesting, so I did more plays, I think, than I thought I was going to. But I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Until next time, I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and I'll see you after the UCF game.